Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Exotic Giant, and I was not going to plan on making a video anytime soon until I finished and had that paint job done on Monday. But this came out like right as I got home yesterday and just decided to scroll through Facebook, and they came out with a new Votann. If you guys don't know yet, I'm a big dwarf fan of any type of dwarfs in any game really. Skyrim. If they had dwarfs, I would be it. The minute Boulder Gates came out, I played as a dwarf. There's a bunch of other games like Dragon Age. Um, if you play Total War, I'm a big dwarf fan. Hell, I even have the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria game, and I played the crap out of that. So dwarves are my jam, and the League of Votann, which were originally when I first started to get into Warhammer and found out about them, they were not even existing at the time. And that was about maybe 10 to 8 years ago. They didn't have the faction playable on the table. Now there was bits of rumors and myths and a tad bit of lore here and there for them at the time, but they didn't have their own miniatures. They didn't have anything. And then finally, somewhere along, I think 2 to maybe a year out, they revealed the League of Votann, and I was like, oh yeah, dwarves are back, and they're finally able to be played, and they're selling them hotcakes. Actually, maybe it wasn't a year or two. It was actually like a good few months, maybe almost a year now. But the League of Votann are one of my favorite Xenos factions, because if you go to Games Workshop and you go to the site, they're considered a Xenos race. Unlike, Ratlings and Ogrins are considered subhumans, these guys are not considered subhumans. They're considered a Xeno race in the Warhammer universe on the Games Workshop page. So that's my reference if you're wondering why I'm calling them Xenoses instead of subhumans. And they're all known to be clones, so yeah, bit of a thing there. But I wanted to go through this page real quickly and show you guys some of the new models and, I believe, champions and new support squads and some interesting squads, because when you see them, they kind of remind you of the Skaven units from the Age of Sigmar era and series and tabletop, just for some of their equipment that they use during battle. The first one is this champion here. Now, don't ask me to try to read that name. I will butcher the shit out of it. So, but he looks very cool. Obviously a Tyranid fighter, and has killed many Tyranids because of his cloak here, which is just that's like a xenomorph queen right there that just got killed. And then he's got his little thing coming out through the skull of the mouth, and he's got this nice purple crystal spear. Now, I don't know anything about this spear. For the first thing when I saw was him covered in Xenos, and Tyranid hive is an armor piece and also as a trophy cloak. But the thing is that this purple crystal here, which I don't think that's a metallic blade or anything. I think that's a pure crystal, because you don't see anything purple blades or anything like that. And it just looks like a normal pole staff, because it looks like he has binds a few things as his claws on there for trophy purposes or whatever. But the spear was the biggest iconic thing to see out of this. This is pretty badass. This is pretty cool. This is iconic. This is something you don't see them people wearing, but everybody takes trophies. But the weaponry is a whole different story. And whatever type of person he is, or whoever he is, obviously there's something very big behind this staff that I'd like to try to figure out. And the next ones is this guy who looks like Albert Einstein on crack, and unleashes a deadly energy towards, again, shitty reader. It's got 3 firing modes. Okay. But this thing's crazy. He's like an evil scientist. And he's the only one that, if you guys really look at, is actually wearing a lab coat. And his helmet is completely different. So he's probably not a normal hands-on physical fighting character. he looks more like something that you would see in a lab or an experimenting place, but now it looks like he has to take his fight to the battlefield and actually go out and fight. Don't know much about him from a little bit of information that is down here, but that weapon looks pretty gnarly. That backpack is one of the backpacks I've seen that's not like the other backpacks that usually all these people carry, or anybody in the Warhammer universe carries. Sometimes usually when your backpack starts to get unique and crazy, it's usually because you're a heretic or you're someone doing shit that you're not supposed to be doing. And then the next guys, which I'm assuming this guy's supposed to be like the wizard of the group. Uses presence detect allow to link in additional cyber units, which will multiply counter power in real terms. This allows you to fire Overwatch or make a heroic invasions on free each battle roll, gaining you some points near your objective. Okay. Question is, can he fight, or is he, because at least what I'm seeing from that is he can link up with anybody, and either, I guess, because from this little picture here, it looks like he can tactically scan and transport people, or I'm assuming these right here are like he's literally a walking antenna. Again, another unique backpack and another unique robe. He's not human, he's full AI, which is interesting. They don't show a human head, so it seems like he is just a mechanical machine that is just programmed to move, which I guess the League of Votann treat them like humans, treats them like they're actual humans, but they're not. They're a machine, which, as you can tell, he's got little appendages arms coming out here and holding this, so he's like, oh, what's his name from Mortal Kombat? Kilgore or whatever his name is. But yeah, he looks like he's got some pretty cool things. I think there's the names. Sorry, probably didn't find the names there. Yeah, there's his name. There's Dr. Einstein's name, which that's all he's gonna be called for me is Einstein. Oops. Yep, and there's his name. Sorry, my scroll wheels got a little funky. And then there's these guys who look like full-fledged space marines, but again, they're not humans because of the helmet. You can tell the difference between their helmets, because usually their helmets will have eye slit holes, and these guys who are, again, they treat them as humans in the League of Votann. They treat them as equals and actual things that are people who are just an extension of themselves, but they're not actually alive. They're just a full-fledged machine that's walking. But these guys are tall, and that shoulder pad is like, that reminds me of some like old Halo shoulder pad right there, because if you ever played Halo, you always made sure you had that one big bulky shoulder pad, and then the other shoulder pad would be like some cool little janky shoulder pad. But no, they're looking pretty cool, and they're looking pretty fearsome. And I'm pretty sure those are battery packs. Those ain't normal clips, so this is like their version of a plasma pistol. Again, I don't know too much about the League of Votann. I've tried to find a bunch of stuff. I mean, hell, they have weapons that you literally use. I think I don't think this is the right name, but it's something to give you guys some type of idea. But it uses fucking star matter as a weapon, and it's usually for a blade or something. It's some type of star matter that they use, and apparently it's super dangerous, and it's lethal to anybody that comes in contact. But these guys look like full-fledged tall space marines, but on crack. But they look sweet. I love the knee joints. These guys actually have knees. And then I also like the sleeves over the, like, I guess it would be more of like the component parts. I'm assuming it's trying to make them look more human than machine. And then you got these guys, which is another form of them, which it looks like it's just showing the difference, what do you want to call it, weapons that they can run with. Oh, that's cool, a little combat knife there. They'll get some type of, I'm assuming that's something close to a bolt pistol, but theirs are like magnums. I think one of the lore things was talking about, like their rounds are like much more heavier hitting than a bolt pistol. Like it's like their technology is so crazily like advanced, which is, and anything that you play with a dwarf, dwarves are running around with like minigun flintlock pistols or minigun flintlock rifles, or they're walking around with basically a cannon in their hand. Like the dwarves are just, and as you can tell, they keep to the actual mythical lore, is that they're way more advanced than humanity and a lot of other races. And here's the other guys I was telling you about. The weird, this is where it gets me into like the Skaven, thinking because like this is one of their like ability moves. It's some type of a drill. I think I've seen it in here. 3 high technician, mortars, blasts, passes, and high data. Back all to the ways of the rogue turn. Blah 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 blah. I want to say these are drills because that's what they look like. Or actually, maybe it's not a drill. It looks like it's some type of thing. No, there's a drill bit. Oh, maybe. Oh, it shoots drill bits. Got it. See, I was right. It's not a drill. It shoots drill bits out. Oh, I wonder if this is like a reverse mortar. Instead of shooting it up in the air, they're like, well, shoot it beneath the ground and get them. I mean, which that would be cool. And as you can see, this thing's not human, as these guys are. You got the big muscly man with the big power axes, and it looks like it's 3 to a base. Which, to me, personally, and miniature-wise, that's a bit of a waste, if you want to be honest with me. Those miniatures would not be restricted to those bases. That one may be restricted to the base, and the loader guy may be restricted to the base, but the other two, I would give the separate, like, positionings on stuff. Or at least put them on a separate base, because that's literally, let's see how many things we got here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. So we're gonna say 5 to a base, 6, 7. That's 7. That is literally 12 miniatures to a base. Unless this is like one set, then okay, then we'll scratch that. But if you're getting 2 of these, that's 12 to a base, and like you lose so much on it. Like it looks like these are different guys. Oh my god, look, these guys are like half metal heads, and these are plated heads. They're hard headed, get it? But these guys are pretty cool. It's kind of a little bummer on that base, but whatever. Then you got this thing, which I've already seen one of them, but I think this one may be different design from a few others. I don't know. And then it's got like 3 different types of turrets, which I'm gonna probably pick that one. I mean, who doesn't want to rock with a minigun? These just look like they'd be kind of like, you know, you'd shoot the mag for like 5 seconds and you'd be out and then done. But this thing looks really cool. Oh, and it's showing the different, like, you can put a pack on there and not have a pack on there, and different paint styles I guess they were running with. But a little hovercraft and stuff, that's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure I'm assuming this is supposed to be a transporter, so you can transport your units through. It's probably only a few units, but it allows you, because I'm pretty sure these guys, again, as I tell people, I've never played tabletop, but I know that the vehicles usually have a little bit of a further distance run sometimes. I know some vehicles don't. Some vehicles are just where I guess they're so heavy that they get like limited, but then some vehicles are a little bit too busted and they just get like completely like kicked in the dong. But I'm assuming this is going to be a small transport unit. It doesn't look like it has a lot of space, and which Games Workshop, I don't know if anybody's been really actually looking at them compared to like the Horus Heresy side of it, because this is obviously part of the 40K. They actually make almost enough room in the cockpit, because you're not supposed to glue the cockpit because it allows it to open up. It's actually supposed to be where you can stick your miniatures in there and move them, and when you get to your destination, the cockpit's supposed to come out and you're supposed to be able to stick your fingers in there and pull them out for some of the things. Not all of them, but some of them. And that's why they make the space so big, because it's just tall enough to stick your miniatures in there. But I'm wondering if that would be something that would really make a game changer, because it means that, you know, if you use this guy as a convoy runner to kind of move troops real quickly into different spots, you can only move like what, maybe 5 or 6 units to an area. But who knows? And then they got their own codex, and it's kind of weird. So like, to be honest, like, they get their own codex, but their codex is based around this group of units that just came in. And it's nothing me saying anything, it's just the front picture kind of doesn't say Votann to me. It kind of says like outside unit that was cast out from their original Votann or Legion, and they're no longer a part of it, so they're kind of like, it looks like they're kind of outsiders. And again, I'm not saying anything bad, it's a wrong probably picture style. Probably people are gonna think like, oh, this ain't really what I'm looking for. I think it would have been better if they just would have kept it to like a normal Votann like society stuff, just like how all the other ones, it's all based around, you know, them. But I mean, again, that's what the picture looks like. But they have a codex, and I have not bought a codex yet. And this would be my first codex to buy. I mean, I have a kill team of Votann and a few other. Yeah, I got a separate box pack, but I plan on buying more Votann and building a Xenos army, which would be my Votann army, and then I already have my Chaos band, which is Death Guard, and then after that I have my Loyalists, which are 3, which you're supposed to only have 1, but I have 3 that I choose from. Number 1 being Salamanders, but this is pretty cool that they actually get their own Codex now. And again, this is something that's completely different, and they get a new little combat unit, which this looks like their normal stuff. This looks like the normal guys that they always have running through, their combat patrol, which I guess this is going to be their newer combat patrol, because I know the other combat patrol they had was vehicles. It had like a little vehicle in it and stuff. And I'm assuming this is going to be added to the combat patrols, because I've seen a few ones have a few different combat patrols, which, I mean, it's a lot more better, I guess, in a way, if you want to put it that way. Just for the simple fact that it's no longer like a vehicle type stuff. It's more of like, you got your infantry, you got your support squad, and then you got your full-on front runners, your heavy support. Which, I mean, to each is their own. I mean, you've got basically pretty much all bases covered. You got your light foot infantry, you got your support infantry, and then you got your heavy front guys who just do mostly melee and front quarters fighting. Which, I mean, it's a pretty good roundup, at least what I see from it. Again, I don't do a lot of the tabletop playing, so I can't say if this is a good strategy team. But that's about it. That's all I want to talk about. League of Votann. Big dwarf fan. Love the dwarves. Badass. Awesome. Sweet. Cool. Can't get over it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you like the League of Votann, tell me what you like, and tell me if you liked any of these guys out of this set here. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.